issues. Again, I apologize. It looks like YouTube no longer lets me multi-stream. So yeah, that's terrible. However, yeah, YouTube is just weird. Okay, so I took off the multi-stream. So right now I'm only streaming to YouTube. Hopefully that fixes the issue. I remember even yesterday I had some issues with the chat. So for some reason YouTube is just being a pain. I will see if I can resolve this later. All right. Let's start the introduction. All right. So in today's tutorial, we're going to review NetBeans 28 as an advanced text editor. Now, before we begin, I want to implore you to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments because that helps the channel grow. And as you, so the more people subscribe, the more the algorithm sends out these videos to everybody, and those people can obviously share the information, even if it's just requests. That allows me to do some research and put content out. I share everything I do learn as well. All right, now on to the show. So NetBeans 28 just came out. I think it's maybe 2 weeks ago or something like that. It's pretty recent. It might even be a week. It just recently came out. So I upgraded to 28. I was hoping to time it so that I could upgrade live, but looks like it's a smart thing that I upgraded before because, as I said, I've been having some issues with YouTube the last, I think, three live streams. However, I hopefully I'll see if I can resolve this after this is done. Okay, so yeah, so NetBeans is a powerful open source IDE. It's for developers. It comes with C++, Java, obviously Java based, PHP, and HTML5. And there's some plugins you can install, for example, if you do Python, and there's a lot of other community plugins that you can install, and then you can obviously, for example, if in Android, there used to be a very popular one called NB Android. NB stands for NetBeans Android, and that one I think the NetBeans developers actually took it over, so it became NetBeans, I think, Android version 2. So you can do a lot of stuff with the NetBeans, as you can see down here: Java, C, C++, PHP, JavaScript, HTML. It's actually very good. I actually switched to NetBeans when 8.2 came out, because back then, just before 8.2 came out, it used to be very slow. So I was on Eclipse. Then I switched over to NetBeans, and I've been with NetBeans since. However, I'm not married to NetBeans, meaning that, as you can see, this entire year I've been testing other editors, some very simple, some more complicated. I just want to see if they can get me off NetBeans. As I said, for my day-to-day as a freelance programmer, I do some PHP. PHP is not as much stuff as I used to do. For example, my own personal stuff, I do C, C++. Java, the only time I do Java stuff is these days is just based if I update my apps for Android. That's the only time I do Java. Some clients might ask me to stuff, but usually they prefer something like that's web based, usually like Cordova, the PhoneGap, or just a website, very simple stuff like that. So I really don't get to use Java anymore. In fact, I probably use Java more when I do tutorials and I show you guys. And Kotlin, I'm new to that. I basically taught myself Kotlin this year. You guys saw that earlier this year. I did the the phone camera or security camera type stuff. That's how I learned Kotlin myself. All right. So obviously it has, like any IDE, it has smart code completion, intelligent code suggestions, and auto completions. Integrated debugger. You can easily debug your code, step through it line by line, and catch errors early. So this one I don't even get to use this because, for example, if I make a mistake with PHP, it automatically grabs it and sees it. So I don't even get to actually debug or line by line like that. That's version control. Now I want to let you know the version control is actually very good. However, there's some nuisances where you still need to drop to the command line, but those ones are very rare. You can literally get away just everything with the right in the GUI. It has Git and Subversion. I usually just use Git, making easy to manage and track your code revisions. It has rich plugin ecosystem. I already explained that. You guys have seen me. Actually, one of the tutorials I did, one of the popular tutorials I did this year was to install Python for NetBeans. I might actually do that today as well if I do remember. It's open source. It's obviously it's actually official name is Apache NetBeans, so that tells you that it's obviously going to be under the Apache license 2.0. So that allows, it's open source, allows you can contribute on its development and tailor it to your own needs. And I did a tutorial on the Apache license. I think it's actually my most popular license tutorial. So it's there. You can check it out on the channel. Now I installed it in Fedora Linux. In a while back, most of the Linux tutorials used to come with NetBeans, but I guess because NetBeans was hard to manage, so they no longer do that. It's and especially since NetBeans went to the what do you call that thing that Google popularized, the I think it's like every 6 weeks or every couple 2-3 months they always come up with a new version. So that obviously puts a lot of stress on developers, because NetBeans are a pretty big project. So yeah, it's just easier to download it from your from NetBeans. Now the only thing is you can't auto update I mean, you can update a small version, but you can't upgrade. Every time you upgrade, you have to download a new one, and there's no indicator telling you, oh, we have a new version. I wish I know it's a lot of undertaking, but I think one thing they should do is when there's a new version of NetBeans, they should put a little thing reminder, because they already put a reminder when there's an update. So I'm saying they should use that as well to, oh, there's now a new major version. So you can run multiple versions at the same time, because it's Java based. You can have like NetBeans 27, NetBeans 28. Okay, let me get rid of this paper. This is for, actually no, I should leave the paper like that because I need to pick up something for the chickens. I'll explain that later in a future tutorial. Alright, and of course, because it's Java based, if you're going to use it for Java, you need some JDK, Java Development Kit, to run. So I use OpenJDK because I'm on Fedora Linux. So it supports 11 and up. I think the one I have is 17, or maybe even 21. I'm not sure. I think I put it in this article. We'll see which one I have. So if you do have it on in your repositories, or maybe you have it as a third-party repository, it's just simply Fedora. It'll be DNF install NetBeans. Alternatively, which most likely you have to do, is you can get it directly from their official website, and I'll show you that in a second. I'll open up here. So what you do is, you see here it says latest release, at least at the time of this recording, is NetBeans 28, and you basically you can read about it. You can find all the releases. So all you do is just go to download, and you can get the binary platform independent, meaning that you can run on all, whether it's Mac OS, Linux, or Windows, of course. And then what I recommend you do, I've done a tutorial on this as well. When you download it, you can get the SHA 512 or the PGG, also GPG keys, and then you can check to make sure that it's actually the one that you downloaded, not some like middleman attack or something like that. Okay, and you can obviously can also get it from, there's a GitHub link. They moved to GitHub just to hope that other developers, or to get more people to join as well. That's the reason they did that. Okay, back here to the video. Okay, so I'm checking. I forgot I'm not live streaming on the others. Actually, I should minimize that because I'm not live streaming on the other guys yet. I don't know what happened to FFmpeg today. I don't know if it's FFmpeg. I believe it's YouTube. YouTube is messing things up. Anyway, so they also have other installers and packages. For example, if you're in Windows, Mac OS, even Linux, you see you can get Codeletry. You can get that, and they're pre-built NBP packages. And of course, there's a Snap package as well. And I believe somebody also created one for FlatHub, and a FlatHub. I tried that one as well. I didn't use that one because when I tried it the first time, I didn't have the terminal, and I do use the terminal. I said, like, sometimes there are things in Git which I need to do. I like to go up to the terminal. And here are some known issues. For example, starting from NetBeans 23, they no longer support string templates. And if you caught any issues with Windows, the RDP sessions or using UNC paths, try running the latest JDK 21. And you can see what ARM and Windows is currently not fully supported. You notice they say on Windows, because ARM or in Linux, I believe it is supported, because as you can run Java easier there as well. So there you go. If you want the source code, you can also grab it here, or you can get it from GitHub. And of course, they show you the hash and PGP, where to get the hash keys or hash files, and the PGP keys. So I believe PGP was something that was invented probably a long time ago, probably back in the 80s or probably even up to the 90s, and it was abandoned. And then the GNU GPT around this one is the one that actually took over, and it still continues to this day. So that's one of the good things about open source. All right, so back here, you can run, obviously, I'll show you where I installed NetBeans as well, and then you can launch it from the command line, or for me, I said I just create a desktop file, and then I can just run it from there. So these are my requirements for a text editor. Obviously, it has to be a code editor. That's plain so. If you don't know what an IDE stands for, it's Integrated Development Environment. I have a glossary here. Explains what that does. It means it combines a bunch of tools which will be useful for programmers. A plugin is a software component that adds specific functionality. A theme that changes it. You guys know dark theme, light theme. Obviously, as you can see here, I prefer the dark theme, because sometimes I work late at night. And then open source. If you don't know what open source means, it means it's freely available for cross-publication and redistribution. There's something I had to shorten this down, but there's something else missing here. Also, they don't put restrictions on its use. So for example, like if you download like a so-called free AI model, they will say, oh, you can't do this, you can't make stuff that's not safe for work. So then that makes it not open source, because they're restricting you on its use. So that's a perfect example of that makes it not open source. And then SCM, for you guys, this basically just means Git. It's source code management, helps you track, modify codes in a source code repository. And these ones are just acronyms. This stands for LMB, stands for left mouse button, and MMB stands for middle mouse button, or the scroll wheel as well. Alright, so here's my system. I finally did update it. I have a Ryzen 5 5600 GT. The G stands for integrated graphics. That's important because I have a dedicated graphics for AI and video stuff. So I do use the integrated graphics. That's why I plug in the display monitors and other stuff as well. So I have memory 32 gigs of DDR4. It's not really, I don't actually get to use all of it, because of this integrated graphics reserves 4 gigs of that, so I made it down to 28, and then I use ZRAM, so then it gets down to probably 24, but obviously I'm running like OBS, some browsers open and some applications, so really it's probably down to 20, somewhere between 21 and 23 is really what I have usable for free. And what I'm saying is that ZRAM is obviously for it's like a cache, or I can use that for if I'm running out of memory, so that's not a bad thing. Operating system Fedora Linux workstation 43. I recently upgraded to this, so it's running Wayland and obviously the GNOME 49 desktop. So this is our test suite here. I have a very large file. It's a 1 gig human readable text. This is to mimic when I used to get like billions of records and I couldn't put them in a database because it would be way too slow, even in the memory would be too slow. So I had to find tricks to, so I even tried SQLite database in the memory. It was still a little bit too slow. It would take me hours. Well, then I found if I learned some command line tools, I could finish the work much faster and the customer would be happy, I would be happy as well. So regex file, this is just to test, just replacing some text. In this case, I can replace whatever text that I did last time with, with NetBeans. It's a find and replace if you don't know what regular expressions are. And then syntax file, this is the PHP file. It's going to have HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and obviously PHP just to test it. I should probably update this because nowadays even very plain text editors, even terminal ones, are able to do this pretty well. And then the media file, this is just to mimic, like for example, let's say I'm working on a website and I need to change the file icon, so I just want to grab a file and drag it into the project folder. So that's why that's what this is here to mimic. So meaning that if it's a simple favicon, that one I can let it go into the Git. So sometimes I do a Git ignore. That one I let it go into Git because it's small. It's not going to take up too much space, and it's unlikely to be revised all the time. And the Java version, I see it's open JDK 21.09. I was right about that. PHP version is 8.4.14. Most likely I won't use 8.5 until the spring when I upgrade to Fedora 44. And then I think it just came out, or was about to come out. Python version is 3.14. And this is giving me some problems because a lot of AI stuff is like hard-coded either version 3.12 or 1.13, but that's fine. I work around that. And the NetBeans, of course, is 28. So my testing scoring is each feature has two parts. A score 0 indicates it's a missing feature, and a part of a feature, it's going to get a 0.5. All right. And as you can see here, I have all the files here as well. I've been some from project files. You can see there's already an NB project folder here. I was testing this, so I'm going to delete that. So we can start again from fresh here, nothing. And as you can see, I have a bunch of files here. The reason I have this PNG, JPEG, and AVIF is because there's still some text editors which obviously don't understand some of these newer file formats. So I didn't want to fail it. That's why I also added JPEGs and PNG. They've been around for a while, so those ones should be pretty easy just to drag into the folder if you want to read it. And then what else is in here? Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. So let's get started. I'm going to open up NetBeans. Oh, sorry, I forgot. I promised to show you where NetBeans is. So I go to my home folder here. I have an applications folder. With applications here, applications. You see NetBeans is here. NetBeans, and you can see this. I just downloaded and extracted and put it in here, and then I said I created the desktop file, so I put it in here. So I believe it's in the bin folder. Yes, here. So so you can see here it has NetBeans 64, obviously 64-bit. This is for Windows, obviously, and this one is also for Windows because it has exe. And this one, the NetBeans one, this is just actually, believe it or not, it's very small, so you might be don't be fooled. It's just a script file, meaning that it runs obviously on Linux and like BSDs and Mac OS. So you can just run this script. So that's it. Now let's go back here and we can. So NetBeans, you can start NetBeans a few different ways. So I'm going to show you how to start NetBeans from the command line. And just to show you, I'm going to start a clean slate. I'm going to start a NetBeans in a clean slate so that you, without any of my current settings at all. Did I say that correctly? With NetBeans without, what's the word I'm looking for? NetBeans without a new instance of NetBeans. New instance, I thought I had that. NetBeans on command line. Okay, I'm just searching for that. I think it's just no, you have to tell it what folder. You have to tell it what folder you want it to start. I believe you. Oh yeah, it's user dir. Yeah, so there we go. So I want this folder here. So I'm going to copy this folder. I'm going to start in this folder. This will be its home folder is what I'm getting at. So then what I'll do is, I'll just start the command line here so you can see the command I'm running. It's not so important. So as you guys know, NetBeans was in the, I'll just say /home. I'll just use the whole full path /home/Edward to applications. It was NetBeans and NetBeans again. I think it was the bin folder. And it was NetBeans. NetBeans. Yeah, that's what it is. And then you have to tell it the user folder. So just type user space user dir, and then I'll paste this path in here. I want this to be, so it's going to start a new instance of NetBeans. Zoom in here so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So I press enter. and it has started. I'll show you what it said right here. So you can see it says settings created by the previous version of IDE were found in your system. NetBeans 27. Do you want to import them? I didn't realize I didn't delete that one yet. Oh, I think I left it purposely to show you this. So this would be like after you've installed it. So you click yes, of course I want to import it. Okay, so it has imported them. So it's going to look a little bit different. So you see it looks a little bit different. This is like the first one. There's nothing here because it's a clean slate. Obviously it imported some of my settings. We'll take a look at that in a second. Give me a second. I need to let's make sure that okay, a little thirsty there. I'm going to copy this for next time. So all right, I'll just say here. Oh, there we go. NetBeans tips. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. So I'm going to, where is that? I can't see. Oh, here we go. Just minimize this for now. All right, so let's go to the file manager. Here you stuff. You can create a new project, and you see in the recent. Oh yeah, looks like I must have done this a while back. Yeah. I did create, looks like I was in Jellywash, Maestro, and some PHP project. This must have been a long time ago. And then, earlier this year at least. And then you can see, because I guess the recent files, this is the stuff I was working on. Project groups. Because it grabbed my settings. So if I click project groups, it's going to show up some of the projects I have. I go project groups, so you can see the project groups I've been recently working on. So these are all websites. As you can see, some of them are my customers, and obviously I always use the tutorial one here. There's nothing in the tutorial, but these ones do have projects in them. So there's nothing special about any of them. So yeah, you can pick any of those, and you can create a new group as well. And then you can under view. You can view the IDE log. That's very good, especially if you have what do you call it? If you have issues like bugs, things crashing or anything like that, it's IDE log. I don't need it. Under the toolbars, you can have obviously file, which I do like to have. You can put Git in there. I put Git another place. I'll show you that in a second. You can have smart toolbar icons, reset toolbars, customize, and you can. I like to show the editor. I like to show the line numbers, and as you can see, this is my settings because as you can see, what happens here, the diff. I do use the diff side viewer quite a bit. Version labels, yeah, that's fine too. And then full screen. I rarely use that one because I have a 4K monitor, and obviously I'm doing multiple things, so I rarely use that one. Debug, the touch debug, I never use this one, and I'll show you why in a second. Same with the profile. Teams, the only one I use is Git. Obviously there's I never use this to clone or initialize. I usually have it already on the command line. I said it's just much faster on the command line. Mercurial and subversion and history, find tasks and create a job. I never use any of these. I said except for Git in the project. And then for plugins, let's go to plugins here. So as you can see, there's no updates. That's great. And the available plugins, as you can see in the available plugins here, there's like a there's a markdown. I think I tried this one. Obviously you can see it says community contributed. I wasn't too happy with it. It's not the plugin. One thing that Markdown is missing is when I have a lot of code. I'll give you an example. Like you see here, right here, you see this table. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's say it had maybe 20 items. Okay. So one of the things that Markdown is missing is there's no way to scroll. What I mean is that I like to set this, say, to show 5 items, let's say 50% or 50 pixels, and then I want to put scroll bars here. That is one thing that Markdown. That's the only thing that's preventing me from using Markdown. Otherwise, I'm thinking if I'm going to scroll all the way down, so what's the point then, right? I do like the fact that you can obviously have headings and all that kind of stuff in Markdown, but this one is a showstopper for me for now, because I'm saying I'm going to scroll anyway. Then there's no point. It looks pretty, but there's no point. Obviously, I also like the syntax highlighting in another application, but then you have to open up a web browser. I might as well just use a web browser. For example, this one I can just say, width, height 50 pixels, then you put the scroll bar show me. Okay, then you can see there's other plugins here you can get. You can see there's PHP, like for example, Laravel, Blade, and other stuff in here. You can see here there's so the weird thing is these are the ones that are available. Now if I do a search, for example, I want Python. You see Python doesn't come here. You might have to for example, maybe check for the latest. It's still 30. Yeah, there's nothing there. And then downloaded, I don't think I installed it. There's nothing downloaded. Installed, yeah, it's not here. So I might have to get it from another, add a repository. Yeah, see here's the thing. You see the only update centers right now are NetBeans distribution, NetBeans plugin portal, and there's some third-party ones. That's the one. I guess it's also by NetBeans. So obviously you can add more. You see, you can just click add. Just click add, and then you can put the URL here, and then that's one way to add another provider, and then Python will show up. I'm guessing there must be I think it's a license thing. Maybe the license is not compatible with Apache. That's why the Python plugin is not here. But Python plugin is pretty good. So let me actually see. Let me search for it here. NetBeans Python plugin. Oh, it is here. It's in the. Oh, that's weird. It's actually right here. What license? Because I'm saying it's being hosted by. Here I was right. Didn't I tell you I was right? I told you I was right. See, I told it's a license thing because this Python plugin is under the GNU public license version 3. So that is not compatible with the Apache license. That's why they didn't include it. So here's how you can grab it. You see it's been verified for, oops, you don't want to get that one. The one you want is probably one that's verified for, like this one. This one has been verified for NetBeans 26. So this one should work. This one failed the validation. So in order to install it, you see it says right here, to install from NetBeans, you go to Tools, Plugins, Available Plugins, and you hit Install. Or you can download the latest version, and then you can simply just go to Add Plugins and then Install. So now, I do not want to show you, so clearly, this is what we did. I went to Tools, Plugins, Available Plugins. You see it's not here. The reason is most likely because it hasn't been so here's the name, just in case you think I did something wrong. So okay, let's search for it. There's only 30, so clearly it's not there. It hasn't been verified yet. So if it was, it would pop up here. But you cannot. It shouldn't be a problem because NetBeans doesn't change that much. So just to prove it to you, I am going to download the latest release. Here, let's go download the latest release. You see it's on GitHub here. And the only file I believe you need is this one, if I'm correct. Yeah, this is the one you need. So let's download this one. You see it came out in August, so that's actually not too long ago. Yeah, so August the 24th. So it's a pretty big file. So download it, and yeah, put it. It's fine. Okay, the downloads. So it's in the downloads, and obviously it's a public. Here's a user guide. Again, if the plugin is not available, register. Oh, you can register. Okay, you know what? I think register will be easier. Oh, you can simply download it. So yeah, let's do this. Let's register it. So let's copy this guy here, and we go to here, and we click add, and new provider. I'll just call this one NetBeans Python. Okay, and then here. HTTP, man, that's a long time ago. Then okay, so you can do automatic installations. Okay, and there we go. unable to connect to. Oh, I guess this is just a space. So they put some spaces. Oh no, this is not a space. I think this is a weird character. Okay, you know what? Forget that. I think I can click it. Yeah. Oh, it's because it has some weird characters in it. That's why it doesn't like it. So let's actually cancel that. Let's just do the other way. This one. Third party. Okay, whatever. Alright, so what we do is where did we go here? Download it. I'll add plugins. So if you remember, it was it's right in my folder. I should actually have downloaded it. That's fine. Let's just go to the downloads folder. It's kind of a it's one of the things I don't like about Java-based stuff. They're still not pretty. So where's my downloads folder? There we go. What is the name of this one again? I already forgot. NBN. There we go, Python. So click open, and you can see here, install one plugin. It's pretty recent enough, so that's fine. Some plugins not installed to avoid the pressure. Plugin is affected. What does it say? Some plugins require navigate to test. Navigate to test. So plugin is requested. So there you go. Just follow those instructions. I will download. Installer will download and verify, and then install it for you. So there we go. Plugin. Yeah. So there we go. Obviously, it doesn't want because I'm using NetBeans 28. Obviously, this is for 27. So this is not gonna. So you know what? I'm gonna hit remove here, and then I'll wait for NetBeans. I'll wait for this plugin to catch up to NetBeans 28. Then it will be available here. This is just easier. I think that's what you guys would prefer as well. All right. So that's how you install plugins if you need to. Back here we have options. In general, you can choose your default web browser. I just leave it as default. The key maps, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff you can change here as well. Java, of course. You see, and GUI builder, Gradle, Java Shell, Maven, Java FX, Java debugger, source launcher, JS, and Java virtual machine, profilers anymore. That's it. And HTML, CSS. You can install Bower, CSS preprocessors, Grunt, and Gulp. I used to use all of this. I think now the only one I just do it manually. Less SaaS. Mobile platforms like you see the Android SDK location. And if you have Cordova as well, and then Node.js as well. So I already have Node.js, I installed it. That comes from, as you can see, /user/bin. That's because it's the Fedora. One of the good things of using Fedora, it always has updated versions of software. And PHP, of course, I already have PHP. I have PHP version 8.4 as I showed you guys. So you can see here it has automatically debug. You don't have to set this up. One of the things I used to dislike about Eclipse, you have to set this up yourself. So if it crashed or something, you have to redo it again. NetBeans is perfect for this. So you don't have to do anything. This is already comes in by default. I didn't touch any of this. And you can see you can also install other frameworks. So I don't use frameworks. I mean, unless somebody asks me to update their framework or whatever, then that's when I will. Or they want me to use one, I will use it as well. I believe I went through all of these, if I remember, this year. And C++, obviously I have Clang, and I also have, what's the other one I have as well? I have Clang and GCC, GCC. And sometimes if I use the AMD GPU, it might come with its own version. I think it's called AMD Clang. No, it's called HIP CCC and HIP C++, something like that. And then the team, this is obviously for team versioning and stuff. I said I usually just stick to Git. It's good enough. And then the appearance, I said I like a little bit of a dark theme, so my windows here I just leave everything the default. You see I use the flat left dark, but you can pick others if you wish. And then the flat half, you see the default. I just leave it as is It works pretty fine on. There was one little issue when I first upgraded to Windows, to Fedora 43, where it was causing some crashes, but that was resolved like within a few days. So that's one of the good things about Fedora. It resolves things very, very quickly. And the diff here, as I said, I do use diff files. You see, I have this my own ignore, but these days I don't even think I touch the same. I think it's a default, so it's smart enough now. You see, there's the files which are automatically ignored. You see, most of them are simply just version control ones. This is Mercury, of course. This is Git, and this is Subversion, and cache folders, Gradle, ds_store, all of that stuff. And Groovy, I haven't used this yet. Janet, I haven't used that yet. I guess it runs automatically. And then the output, I like monospaced fonts. It's just easier, especially when you're coding. And then the terminal automatically follows the path, especially in the project. I think that's the default behavior, so I leave it. I don't even touch this. I leave it. So that's a quick overview. Oh, there's still more. Wow, there's still more. That was tools. Was that team? Oh no, that was tools. Yeah. So we went through this here. Obviously, there's initialization and servers and etc. I said I don't touch it. I don't even touch the templates. I just and then under window, you can see here you can specify the locations. I like it the way it is, so I leave this as is. Normally, if I'm working with a Git project, I'll show the output here. I have my own custom post receive hooks, so I can see the output down here on the outline here, which that's my preferred version. One thing I don't like, remember I was telling you about the Git, is that it doesn't support before you send the hooks which are on your side, before, not the remote hooks but the local hooks. It doesn't support that one, so that's annoying, because sometimes, for example, if I'm working on a WordPress plugin, I want to create a copy and zip it up locally, not on the remote side. It doesn't it ignores those hooks. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes I need to drop the command line and then run the push there instead of using this. Okay, so that's in Windows. Yeah, and then so this is just layouts, what windows you want, where you want to put them. And then the help, if we go to about, I'm sure you can see up here as well, it's NetBeans 28, and you can see the Java version is 21.09, OpenJDK, the runtime, system directory, the cache directory, and all that good stuff. All right, and you can see how much memory it's using right now. It's Java. Come on, it's a virtual machine. What do you expect? All right, so let's get started here. All right, as I was saying here, I try to for my test scoring, each part has two features. The score 0, the missing a feature, and part of the feature will get a 0.5. So to eliminate bias, I use this application on 3 platforms: Mac OS, Windows, and obviously Linux. Excuse me. Now, obviously, on Linux, I've been using that since 2008 permanently. Yeah, January 1st, 2008. So I haven't used Mac OS or Windows in a very long time. So I don't know if they have also improved during that time. I'm hoping they have. I should actually change this. You know what? I think next year I'll stop saying I tried to use it on 3 platforms, because that's no longer true. That hasn't been a while, and I doubt I will. You know what? I'll leave it, because I might have some news coming up soon. I'm still debating. So who knows? I might actually start using those platforms again. For example, if I have apps and I want to test it on that one, so we might try it again. But even then, I don't think I'll be testing stuff like this on those platforms. Okay, so the theme. I'm sure, as you can see, the default theme is usually very light, and this is a darkish type theme, so clearly got a perfect score for that. Dragging and dropping does work, and we can test it out right now. So here we go. I'm going to open up the regex file here. See, drag and drop, it works. No problems. So, and then the only problem is I can't drag to a specific area, and let me explain to you what I mean by that. So I'm going to take this, you see this books.xml file. So let's say I want to put it right here before this regex file. So I take this, you see, it doesn't let me put it in a specific place. It doesn't let me do it. In fact, it will decide for me because it's smarter than me, right? So for example, I want to put this right at the beginning. You see there's no indicator where to put it. You see it always puts it after. So that's a pain in the butt. And worse is, let me show you something else. I'm going to open up this syntax PHP file and put it down here. You see it, so I think, let me try that again. I want to be fair. Let me take this guy out of the way. So if I take this, you see, if I wanna put it down here, I can't. You see that? If I want to put it in the middle, I can't. Again, it decides for me. So what I have to do is that after it's there, then I have to put it down here. Now I do like this. You see, I can decide where to put. So I do like that part. That's new. Yeah, that's new. I do like that feature. Now, when it's here, it's still a problem. Let me explain. You see, this one is highlighted. So let me explain what I mean. The syntax.php is highlighted. Let's say I want to take this Java file and I want to put it right. I want to put it here now. It won't let me because it's only going to put it here. So I'll explain to you what I mean. So if I take this and I want to put it right here, right? Because remember before it doesn't let me put it anywhere else. So I don't want to put it here. I want to put it right here. You see, it won't let me. It only go where it was last, where the focus was, which is down here. Then after, I can now move it. For example, I can move this guy. I can put it here, here. Now I can move it. You see? That's why I gave it that score. Now you understand. Hope you guys understand. Now, dragging and dropping a very large file. So we're going to try this out. You can see the memory is still pretty good. Now watch what happens when I grab this large 1 gig file and I'll put it here. So it says the 1 gig text file seems to be too large to safely open. Opening the file could cause an out of memory error which makes the IDE unstable. Do you want to open it? Now remember, I have 32 gigs of RAM, right? And let's actually open up the system monitor so you can see what's going on. So this is the system monitor. I'm gonna leave it, actually I'm gonna leave it right here and I'm gonna leave it on top. Oh, I'm gonna put it always on top so you can watch the memory. You see the memory, it says 8.4. So I still have lots of memory. It's only 1 gig. It's a text file. It's not like a compressed file, it's a text file. Okay, so I'm gonna say, do you wanna open it? And I click yes. So the memory is going up. It's ready. It's 1 gig file. Look how the memory, look how much the memory went up. So the memory went up by what? 4 or 5 gigs, right? And the file is still not open. Another gig just came up. Okay, it finally opened. Remember we said that 4 gigs. So it took 11 gigs. You heard me right. It took 11 gigs to open a 1 gig text file. Wow. Okay. So I'm gonna put this right here. Okay, just so you can see the amount of memory it's using. Actually, no, I'll leave it right here. So memory. So can I edit the file? It didn't crash it, so that's good. So let's say I go right here on line 10, somewhere here, and I press enter because I'm trying to edit the file. It looks like I can't edit the file. If it's taking that long, that's not good for me. So let's do a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Nothing. The CPU seems to be fine as well. You can see the CPUs. I don't know what it's doing. So I'm gonna close this file because nothing happened. Did it actually do something? No, it did not. Okay, so it looks like it's frozen. Now that could also be because of OBS. I know OBS also likes to hog stuff. Now I can't even close it. Okay, so I can't even close the file. And you see here it says it's using 6 gig, which is nonsense because we already know it's using quite more than that. So this is not correct. So it looks like it's I don't know why it's doing that. So some people ask me why don't I just use Vim or something like that. I'm just showing you what else is out there, because I said there's some things that NetBeans does pretty well, which I do like, and that's why I still use it. But there's some things which could use some improvement. Look, now it's using up all the CPUs. I'm trying to close the application. So looks like this is a fail. So I'll probably have to. It doesn't even let me close it. So let's see if I can close it from here. The processes. Obviously it's Java. Look how much. Yeah, this is a clear Java issue here. So I'm gonna close that and end it. See if that works. Nope, Java, it doesn't want to seem to, so that looks like it's a crash. I induced a crash when I'm trying to close the file. So let's try another one, force stop. Okay, that works. Force stop does work. Yay! Let's see if it still hasn't released all the. Wow, it even started using some of the swap. Wow. Okay, the CPU seems to be back to normal. So let's see if it does recovery. So let's open it up again. If I remember, that was on the command line. Here we go. Let's look at the command line. What happened here? So you can read all this stuff here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. You can see. You guys can read that. I have zero interest in reading any of that stuff. So I'm going to start it up again. It loaded up on the other monitor and it got rid of everything. Yeah, nice. All right, I'll leave this here just for fun, and let's go back here. All right, so let's move on. Obviously multiple files, multiple documents can be opened, multiple editors. You guys saw that. I show you the split. Non-project files, clearly that also gets a perfect score. Now let's try the soft wrap. So let's open up the regis file again, and we want to try soft. I believe it's enabled by default. So for example, I'll take a sentence here like this one. The dog on line 6, the dog barked frantically chasing light XL, a shadow across the lawn. So if I zoom in, I think it's Alt key. Yeah, I hold down the Alt key. Yeah, see that soft wrap. What happens is soft wrap. If you don't know what soft wrap does, a soft wrap basically if a word doesn't fit on the line, it will drop it to the second line. Hard wrap, it will break the word, and for example just put the characters separate. That's a hard wrap, but I prefer soft wrap. So soft wrap perfectly works. Now I'm going to show you very quickly. This is just a simple find and replace. So here we go. See, that's find. Obviously that works. And we can also do Control H and find and replace. There's regular expressions, as you can see, they're here as well. So they do work. I have used them. So just change that to NetBeans and hit replace. You can also do a selection as well. It works. I have done it several times. So that also works. Now I'll prove it to you just because some people think I'm lying. So I'm going to grab this here. I only want to change this NetBeans and this NetBeans. So if I go back, I click here, I'm going to change NetBeans to, what's another editor? I'll just say micro editor. You see that? It only highlighted so there's 3 of them. I thought there was only 2. Okay, so if I hit replace all, you see the only part it changed micro editor, those ones. You see the left, this one here, and NetBeans down here as well. Of course, I can also Control Z, and then it will undo those changes. So it does work. That I do like that feature. Some editors, even if you select something here, they will just still replace everything all over. So I dislike that. That's the reason I use this editor. IDE, sorry. Okay, so what else is here? We've done that, so we've done soft wrap. Spell check works as well. As you can see the spell check here, you can see it's obviously set to the American spelling of color, which I'm fine with. See, it thought the Canadian spelling of color is wrong. Obviously the word NetBeans is incorrect in the dictionary, and you see these ones are all wrong, and it got the correct. So you can also do it as you type. For example, here if I say color, you see color is fine. If I type the wrong color, You see there, automatically it gives the wavy line, so it works. It also works in the code as well. I'll show you that later. Word count is not available. Selection word count is clearly not available, so that got 0. If you don't know what word count means, like for example, this is 3 words. If I highlight this, it will show me that, oh, there's 3 words. You see, it doesn't. It shows me that there's 23 lines, which is correct, and it shows me the column length. If you don't know what column length means, this way, how long this is. So example, if I pick 2, it should be 2. You see it says 2 here. If I pick a color here, this is 5. You see it's 5, column 5, so that's perfect. And it's only 1 line. So for example, if I pick 2 lines, like here, you see it says 2 lines, and it says 8 because it's adding those 2 plus 5. I think there's a space somewhere as well, or maybe the yeah, I think here the space, or the space for the new line. So there we go. So that worked. I wish it had word count because I do use this a lot. For example, I might need to add something very quickly. I just need to add like a few lines, something like this. I like to know how many words I am doing, especially for testing. Unfortunately, it doesn't have that. There are ways I can do it. Obviously, I can create my own little plugin. I can use Java or something, but I want something built in because that way I don't have to maintain it. Okay, then if you want to jump, to a line, for example, here I'm on line 20. If you want to jump to line 1 or line 2, so Control G, then this it says go to line or bookmark. So if I put 2, press enter, you see it went to the beginning of line 2. That's exactly what I want. Perfect score. Indentation also works. So for that, I'm going to open up the PHP file. Where are you, PHP file? PHP syntax file. So I'm going to open this up. Open up as a tab, not as a split. So here you can see, let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see better. Alt key. So if you see right here, the head section, you see a line 3. If I press enter, you see it's smart enough to go in the middle, right? So that's indentation. And then when something else is indented, like for example the style here, if I press enter, you see it's smart enough to indent it properly. And if I go to another language like this one here, this is JavaScript, you see it indents it properly. Now remember I told you about PHP, so I want to show you, you see this here? This is clearly wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. You see it already put the, as I said, I don't need to run a debugger because it's automatic. It'll tell me that, hey, this code is wrong because I forgot to put the variable here for this number and one for this pulsar edit, and etc, etc. So it knows. Give warning because it doesn't know if it's part of this one or I made a mistake. So, but clearly I'm saying all I see is this red alert, and you can actually read it. There we go, syntax error. You see, then I can fix it. So, and it's also in the project file. I'll show you guys that later as well. It will actually put the color there. It will parse it and show you there if it's a project file. Okay, so I've already done indentation. I showed you how to dynamically scale. Just hold down the Alt key and then the middle mouse button. So that's perfect. Is it perfect so far? Oh, besides that 0 for the word count and some of this other stuff. Yes, that's doing pretty well so far. Then we go to code. Where are we here? Find and replace. I already did that. Multiple language syntax. This is a PHP file. So for example, to fold, we can fold multiple things. For example, here's a JavaScript. You see down here, you see that? That's the folding and expanding. It also works for example, style sheets here. You can do that even inside the body. See, that does. It also does for PHP. Let me check a good PHP like here as well. This one, because there's an error, so it's a problematic one, but the div should be fine. Yeah. So I fixed this. This should work. Obviously, because there's an error here. What I'm saying is that if I comment this out, this is an example to show you. If I comment that out, you see now I should be able to close. I don't know, maybe because of this one as well. I made another mistake here. So let me actually comment all this out here. Yeah, so this is a PHP. Yeah, see now it works. You see that? Now I can do that in PHP as well. So the reason I leave this error message is just to show you how advanced the text editor is, but it does work. Obviously, you'd fix this. So, what else? Yeah, code forwarding, I've showed you that. HTML, CSS, Java, and PHP. Okay, what else? Selecting rectangular block. So let's go back to the regex file here. Did I save this? Looks like I did not. You can tell it's not saved because it was bolder. So let me zoom out. What's wrong with it? I have to click here to zoom out. Oh, is it? No, it's Alt. Sorry, I forgot. I want to zoom out a little. Yeah, perfect, right there. Now, rectangular block selection, or it's also called column block selection or column selection. So to toggle that one, you have to hold down the Control and Shift and then the R key on Linux. So, but if you don't want to do that, I put it here. You see this guy right here. You toggle. You see it's Control Shift plus R on Linux. So you can just click that and it's use your mouse. So what I mean by that is I go here. See, that's rectangular block selection. And you go right like that. So that's a rectangular block selection. So now so it works with word wrap enabled. So for example, if I hold down the Alt key and keep on going, go, you see that? Perfect. You see what happened on line 14 here? This word, the beneath it went to the next line, but you see it wasn't selected. The rectangular block selection is still only what I selected. So that is really, 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 really good. So it got a perfect score for that. Now, I think I'm being a little bit unfair because, is this one? Oh, you know what? I just realized I'm being a little bit unfair because I think the other ones I also checked to see if you can search if you do that. So let's see if we can search. I think I was a little bit too happy that it worked that I probably forgot to add something here. So normally I do check. So for example, NetBeans, yeah, so NetBeans, you see NetBeans shows up here twice. So let's say I want to replace this word NetBeans with something else only in this column select. So I don't want to replace the other. So let's try that out. I just realized I never did that for the others. If I put Control H here, and NetBeans, and you see, is it gonna work? I thought NetBeans showed up twice. NetBeans I think showed up only once if I remember correctly in here. Yeah, so let's see if, now you can see it's clearly not gonna, let's see if I hit replace all. Yeah, see it doesn't work. It only, because it doesn't work with the so you cannot search in rectangular block selection. It only, it doesn't, so that's one of the problems. So I'll just undo that. So obviously now multiple selection, I was actually surprised that this one actually works. So make sure you take off this one because it'll probably mess you up. So now we have multiple. If you don't know what multiple selection is, that means that you can put your cursor in different places. For example, you see right now it's NetBeans. If I select this, I hold down the Control Shift. I'm holding down Control and Shift right now, and I go and pick another one. Let's say pick this one here. You see that? Now I have my cursor in two places. Now I'm not gonna care too much about the word. Oh, you selected this, so this is multiple cursor here. Now because I can't select something, again that's fine. So if I start typing, it works. So that's fine. It works. It works good enough. However, obviously I can't search. Oh, that's what they search. Obviously, because I can't select another thing, I cannot search. I cannot do the search. Sorry, I got confused. I confused the 16 and 17, but I'm not able to search. I'm not able to search in the multiple cursor because the cursor is just literally just multiple cursors. That's all it is. All right, distraction free mode. As I showed you guys here before, if you go to the view menu, you see you can, for example, toggle the line numbers, and you can remove a lot of stuff like you see show toolbar header. You can remove that. you can do a pretty good job. I do like it, but I'm saying you can get rid of all this stuff. So and then obviously you can also go full screen and stuff. There's things you can do. But what's the point of using an IDE if you're going to hide everything? I do need some of them. All right, but yeah, so we got perfect score for that. The file manager, I haven't shown you that yet. So let me actually get rid of this and get rid of this. So one good thing you can now do in NetBeans is you can drag a folder. So for example, I'm going to drag this my app here. Just drag it in here. Boom, just like that. And then inside this folder, you can obviously open, for example, this app.php file and others. And you can also drag files. For example, let's say this AVF image was my what did I say before? Favicon. If I drag it into the folder, it works. That's it. See, it works. It's right here. And to prove that it works, if I now go here in the file manager, you see it's there. The file is there. And I can also delete it from here. So for example, I don't like it, I'll just say delete it. Click yes. You go back to the file manager, it's also gone. So the file manager is very, very, very good. Kudos, NetBeans. All right, next you want a terminal. So to the terminal, we go to tools here, and you see open in terminal. You can open in system and open in terminal. So you can just click open in terminal, and you can see it opens my folder path right in the terminal. So here I can do stuff like ls, just to list everything. You see there's only two, and that's proof here. My app, you see there's this and app 1, and that's the same thing in the terminal. I like that feature. Usually I do have it open. Now if I have a project folder, if this was a project folder, I just right click and go to properties, and this is not project folder, but I say if it was, you'd get more options, and one of those things is to tell the terminal to follow the particular file you have. So there we go. So that got a perfect score for that. Okay, we don't need this anymore. You can see it uses quite a bit of RAM, so obviously if you have a low spec, you need a poly. I wouldn't recommend running NetBeans unless you have at least 4 gigs of RAM, as you guys saw. It can, it will be have a decent process as well. I got away using my Intel 2600 i7 from 2011. Obviously that's a powerful thing. I had no problem. And when I got it, I had 8 gigs of RAM, DDR3. That was fine. Never had any problems with NetBeans. So I'm just telling you that, yeah. But if you do have a lower spec device, you know that one had like 4 cores and 8 threads. So just telling you that my laptops have always had at least 4 cores. There was one I had which had 2 cores and 4 threads. So yeah, so I would recommend have a minimum of 4 threads. I mean, you can obviously get away with less, but it could be problematic, just to let you know. All right, so let's finish this up. The score for this one was a 8.75 or 87.5% out of 100. And as you can see, the screenshots again, you guys have seen all this. I'm going to just zoom through this very quickly because we've already looked through them. So this is live stream. Again, I apologize. I don't know what happened with FFmpeg. So as soon as this live stream is over, I'm going to go and investigate and see why it's being a pain in the, you know what. Okay, what else? We have some other additional resources. If you're looking to dive deeper into programming, offer a selection of programming books and online courses that can help you master different programming languages and tools. So you can check out my programming books. They're available on Amazon. You can go there and search for Fedora Jumbo. The links are also in the description. I also have courses. They're available on jumboshop.com. They're designed for various levels of expertise. It's not just PHP, there's Python, there's JavaScript as well, same with the programming books. And I also offer, if you need personalized help with NetBeans or any other programming topic, I offer one-on-one programming tutorials online. You can schedule a session with me via my contact page of jumbo.com, so jumbo.com/contact. And I also offer professional NetBeans installation and migration services. If you need assistance setting up or moving your projects, visit my ojamboservices.com/contact. The links are also in the description for all of them. Okay, and then I also want to implore you to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments, because that helps the channel. As I said before, the more people who do subscribe, the more the algorithm will send it out to multiple people, and those people are able to, share, and then I'll share with you guys as well. Everybody benefits that way. Okay, subscribe, like. All right, and then I do have some other resources. I'm not going to spend too much of your time here. I live in a rural area, so for my internet, I use the SpaceX Starlink residential service. If you're thinking of getting this, use my referral link. You'll get a massive discount. It could be in equipment, it could be in a few months. Yes, it's a massive discount. It's absolutely worth it to use my referral link. My referral link is only on ojambo.com. Pick any article, and then you can click on it. It will take you right to spacex.com. All right, and then if you're in a colder climate or you need a little boost, space heater, I have this guy here. It's the Honeywell HeatBud Personal Ceramic Heater. It's available on Amazon. It has a trip protection. It has a low and high. Low uses 170 watts. The high uses 250 watts. So this guy will. I've used this since last winter. It was very harsh. I was able to save $100 in the coldest month of the year. That was February. So and then this year I'm hoping to save another $100, meaning bringing the total to $200. And this winter is going to be much harsher because it started very early. It started snowing in October. Just a quick cap over. So when I first moved here about 2 years ago, I was paying $350, and that was a mild winter. $350 a month for propane, which is ridiculous. Last year, as I said, in the coldest month, I paid $250, so that's a massive savings just because of this guy. So this is a space heater. It's not meant to heat up your entire room. It's just for your personal space. Like for me right now, I spend a lot of time just like all the other rooms, even this entire room. I just need my personal space to be. Obviously, I dress warmly as well. So this guy is I mostly leave it on low, and it helps a lot with that. So I'm saying I'd rather pay $3 extra a month in electricity cost than paying $200-300 a month in propane. It's just the savings is just ridiculous. I'm pretty comfortable. You guys see me here. I haven't switched it on. I haven't had to switch it on during a live stream. So I'm saying I'm pretty warm. I switch it on maybe every 1 hour or two. I'm gonna switch it on just for a few minutes. I'm good to go. So this is my affiliate link, meaning that I'll get a commission if you do purchase it. That's another way you can help me. It does no cost to you at all. Okay, and then I have my novelette. It's the Algorithmic Serpent. If you're into psychological thrillers, this is perfect for you. It's created by me. You see Edward Ojambo. It's about a scientist who loses his mind after he creates an AI system. He has to regain control of the AI system and his mind. This is the back. This is the paperback version. You can see there's a bunch of pages in there. It has, let me see how many pages it has. It has 36 pages, meaning that pages you can actually read. It has 36 of them. And then, so pick it up if you have the means. It's very affordable. The majority of the cost goes towards printing and shipping. And there's also an ebook version, which you can get for free if you have Kindle Unlimited. So pick it up if you have the means. Let me know what you think. I love writing. And speaking of writing, I have a new book. It's called The Recession Business Blueprint. I haven't actually started promoting this yet, but if you want to get an early look at it, it's called The Recession Blueprint. It helps you if you're thinking, ever thought of starting a business. The perfect time to start a business is during a recession. Right now we're going through a recession. Don't believe what anybody says. We're going through a recession. You guys can clearly see it. Prices are high, right? People are getting laid off. It's a recession, right? So you can use my. I said you can purchase this book, and it will help you get a business started. I started my business. People are telling me, for example, I'll give you a short story. Yes, people are telling me that nobody's going to take me serious because I don't use a Mac. Nobody's going to take me serious because I don't offer Flash. for websites, the rest is history, right? So I'm saying that if you have passion, you can start your business. It doesn't have to be a service business. If you want to, ship stuff, physical goods, hey, start your business, man. Or ladies, start your business. So this is a blueprint. Now, clearly, because I started my business in 2009, so some of the things that I was able to do might not be available. For example, I was talking to a client, talking to a farmer, and I was telling her just yesterday how when I started my business, I was able to get free advertising in Toronto on Kijiji and Craigslist. That's no longer for services. That's no longer true. And the other thing I was able to do is I was able to go up, print like flyers, just print them out and just go post them up. And now 2 years after I started my business, they stopped doing that, and they had the so-called pillars where you're supposed to put the flyers, but then they would rip them out like 3 or 4 times a day. So that was useless, right? So my point is that if I tell you to do that when it's no longer viable, that doesn't make sense. So what I did was, when I wrote this book, I went and did the research, and I showed you other ways where you can promote your business, and concepts which are still valid even way back then is, for example, funds. If you have limited funds, nobody's going to give you money, especially banks are not going to give you money. So I show you how you can start a business in lean times with low or no money at all. And there you go. So it's called the Recession Business Blueprint. It's available on Amazon right now. There's also an ebook version as well. If you don't know more about me, I have a bio. It's on all the articles I write. I'm a freelance programmer. And then I have my bookshop page here. It's on Amazon. And then I have my ojamboservices.com link. And then I have the ojamboshop.com for the online courses. If you guys like the online courses, let me know. I can print out some coupons for you guys. And then multiple ways to contact me. You can use the contact form. You can also write in the channels as well. And then obviously I said the contact forms. All the sites have contact forms. ojamboservices.com/contact, ojamboshop.com/contact, obviously ojambo.com/contact. And then also the channels, Odyssey, Rambo, BitChute, and YouTube. Today, for some reason, as I said, FFmpeg would not work. I believe it's a YouTube thing. I'll resolve that. But yeah, that's another way where you can contact. The best way, as I said, is usually just use the contact form. Okay, guys, so I am going to finish this up. I'm going to check the live stream. You should have been live streams to see if there's any chat requests. So obviously I can't check Odyssey, Rambo, and BitChute because FFmpeg refused to work. I believe the problem is YouTube there. Thank you, YouTube, for that. And the other one is YouTube. There's no chat request. Okay, so that's it. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you want to see what I'm doing tomorrow, you simply go to jambo.com, watch menu live summary. You can see that we're doing lossless cut tomorrow. That's a fun. I'll have some tips for you as well for that one. So be sure to check it out tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. Okay, that guys.